Whenever there's a World Cup fast approaching, never far behind is the highest of expectations in one particular part of the world more so than others. Throughout their history, Brazilians have conquered the footballing world a grand total of 5 times, more than any other country, and traditionally have been led to glory by some of the greatest forwards in the history of this tournament. The trend dates back to Brazil's golden era, when the legendary Pelé was the centrepiece of 3 Brazilian World Cup triumphs in 12 years, setting the standard for footballers in generations to come. It wasn't until almost 25 years later when Brazil would be back where they belong at the top of international football, led by Barca forward Romario, one of the game's greatest ever goal scorers, who won the tournament's golden ball as they defeated Roberto Baggio's Italy for a record 4th title in USA 1994. The next Brazilian prodigy was actually a part of this squad, 17-year-old Ronaldo De Lima, who was quickly gaining global recognition for his standout performances at Cruizero. Despite earning a winner's medal, Ronaldo never played in the tournament and wouldn't make his World Cup debut until 1998. By this point, De Lima was considered by most the best player in the world, coming off incredible goal-scoring seasons at Barcelona and Inter Milan. And although winning the tournament's Best Player award, Brazil suffered a humiliating 3-0 final loss to the host France, a fixture that to this day is still considered one of the most controversial of all time. 2 years prior to the 2002 World Cup, Ronaldo suffered a career-threatening injury, which sidelined him throughout the whole course of the qualifying process. The tournament would ultimately prove to be Ronaldo's redemption, scoring a record-breaking 8 goals while being the standout player on one of the most star-studded national teams in recent memory, solidifying his face on the Mount Rushmore of Brazilian strikers. Fast forward a decade and some to the 2014 World Cup finals. This one would have been that extra bit more special to win. That pipe dream seemed on the cards until a freak injury ruled Neymar out of the semi-final against Germany, a game that wound up being the most humiliating moment in the national team's history, blown off their home turf in an embarrassing 7-1 defeat. Besides the backyard advantage and the blind faith the entire nation had installed in their new poster boy, there was no other reason to believe Brazil were headed to the promised land in the 2014 World Cup. One look at their squad was enough to raise the red flag, because there was one alarming weakness, and that was out of their entire national pool, the best centre forward available was Fred, a 6-foot target man who spent near enough his entire career in Brazil. In fairness to Fred, he had a good goal scoring record at the international level, but I think we can all agree he's not even in the same stratosphere as the guys I mentioned earlier. It's at this point in the video where I introduce Gabriel Jesus, who this time 4 years ago was painting the streets preparing for this tournament barefoot. His pro football career started at Palmeiras in 2015, and it wasn't long before he was making national headlines. In only his second season, he led Palmeiras to their first national championship since 1994, scoring 12 goals and earning Player of the Season awards. The following summer, the Brazilian wonder kid took his talents to the Premier League, signing with Pep Guardiola's Man City in a deal worth around 27 million. He'd end up making his international debut a month later. Injuries and adjusting to the English culture saw Jesus make minimal impact his first season. However, the following year would be a different story. Gabriel Jesus played a massive role in City's 100-point record-breaking season, bagging 13 goals in 19 starts, including a brace against Champions League finalist Liverpool in an early season 5-0 thrashing. He also played a pivotal part in Brazil's World Cup qualification, netting 7 goals in 10 appearances, helping his country secure first place in qualifying. Jesus has already managed 9 goals from just 15 caps, proving that even at 21, he's not only the future of the national team, but the present also. Jesus is a talented and versatile forward capable of playing several attacking positions. He's renowned for his pace, technical skills, dribbling, creativity, movement, work ethic and finishing abilities. Don't get me wrong, this is still very much Neymar's team. As the superstar, the expectations to deliver will ultimately land on his shoulders whether it's fair or not. But I believe Gabriel Jesus is a transcendent young talent who has the potential to one day join that list of all-time great Brazilian centre forwards. He's surrounded with creative players and overall a great supporting cast, and could easily become one of the tournament's breakout stars by scoring a bunch of important goals in a deep knockout run for Brazil. Having a number 9 that can not only create for himself but for others also is something Brazil has been missing since what Ronaldo had left in the tank in Germany 06. Russia 2018 presents the perfect stage for a young player like Gabriel Jesus to come of age and make the transition from wonder kid to world class.